Hey everybody, Dr. Liz here, and wanted to talk to you for a few minutes about a topic that frankly can be a little bit icky, and that is plagiarism in a professional paper, or in an academic paper. So I'm going to really spend almost no time talking about the really icky version, which is you're deliberately going out of your way. Trust me, we know about those websites where you can buy papers and the tips and tricks and stuff that you can do, like putting, white letters in between words to try to fool plagiarism software and stuff like that. And I could just tell you that if you are one of the very, 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 very few people that has tried to go one of these options during the time I've been teaching this course, please rethink that, because let's just say it doesn't work out so great. And I'm just going to leave it at that. However, there is a very, very common issue that occurs, and that is when you accidentally plagiarize. And that is what I would like to talk about in this video. So accidental plagiarism basically occurs when you've read the article, you're writing your own paper to report on the article, but you just don't quite effectively enough take the ideas from the paper and convert them into more of your own ideas so that your paper ends up being awfully similar to the original article. I would say that is definitely what I run into the most. And so the purpose of this video is to help you to identify some tools, in case you haven't found them yet, that help you with this issue. So if you go to our main page here, and then go to our learning space, and if you go under the course menu to where it says learning modules, and then where it says start here, you're gonna see something called Turnitin originality checks. And Turnitin is the name of the software that is used by SNHU to take your paper and run it through a database that compares it to all the other, different papers that are out there, including the original article, and it assigns a percentage to determine how close your paper is to what's already out there. So I love, love, love the fact that the first milestone submissions are done on a discussion board. I had some reservations when I first started teaching this course about it just being peer feedback based, but over the years I've really seen my students grow so much from analyzing other people's papers and offering feedback to each other that I've definitely changed my mind, and I think it's great. The downside, though, is that when you submit your milestone 1, 2, and 3 to a discussion board, it doesn't actually run those early submissions through this Turnitin plagiarism software. So here's what happens, unfortunately, a lot more often than I would like. You've turned in your first 3 submissions, you think you're doing great, and we get to the final paper submission, which is when your paper actually gets run through the Turnitin software, and it turns out that your final paper is too close to the actual article. And so you think you're done with your paper, and then unfortunately what happens is that you're spending the last week of the course studying for your final exam at the same time that you are having to redo parts of your paper, because I literally can't accept it if that Turnitin percentage is too high. And over the years, of course, that I've been, grading papers in this class, yes, there are definitely times that I can read a paragraph and be like, eek, I think that's probably too close to the original article, and I can send you a note, but my brain is definitely no substitution for the really comprehensive software that does this, right? I can't assign with my brain a percentage and tell you whether it's okay or not. So, please, you do not want to be in a position where you are all of a sudden at week 8 having to do your final and redo your paper at the same time. I can say from experience, it is a nightmare for you and for me. Nobody wants to be there. So how can we make sure that we don't end up in that position? That is what this video is about. So we're going to go to the course menu again. I'm going to go to learning modules. And I am going to go to module 2 because this is when we're going to turn in our milestone 1. And you'll see that there are actually 2 different places that say milestone 1. Hopefully you've already seen my introductory video that explains this area. If not, please take a look at that. So this is where your official submission is going to go. But you'll see that there's another spot right here that says milestone 1 optional. And so if you submit your paper, submit your milestone 1 to this optional submission area, it will run your paper through that Turnitin software. And then once it's run through that software, you're going to go back to the course menu, go back to the learning modules, go back to start here, and go back to where it said Turnitin originality checks. And this is where it gives you a lot of information about how to access the report that gives you that Turnitin percentage and what an idea of what a good percentage is versus not. Of course, you can always reach out to me if you're not 100% sure based on what you've read, but they do a really good job. It's kind of a big problem, and so they do a great job, I think, of showing you kind of how that all works. And please know that if that percentage ends up high, this is not any kind of an indictment on you as a student. It's really hard to take other people's work and generate your own ideas and to express them in an effective way. I know firsthand because I had to do it with my own dissertation. There were countless numbers of times that I ran my own paper through software to make sure that I was doing a good enough job of conveying other people's ideas in my own words. It's not easy, and it's really okay if you have a hard time with it. So I just wanted to make sure that I made clear to you that this is a tool that's available to you that is, cannot stress enough how much please use it. So what do you do if you've run your milestone 1 through your Turnitin software and you realize that the percentage is too high? You are going to go, you've got options. The best option I can suggest is going here to the course menu, go to learning modules again, and then scroll down to where it says academic support. And under the link right here that says get help with your schoolwork, see where it says upload a paper to receive written feedback. You can actually take your paper and you can upload it to SNHU's Writing Center, and there are people whose job it is specifically to help you in order to be able to get that paper where you need it to be. So you can update, so you can submit your paper and say, hey, my Turnitin score was too high. I'm having some issues with getting things in my own words, and they will give you some written support and feedback and ideas for that. I feel like I'm a pretty darn good stats teacher, but to be honest, I am not a writing teacher. I've had my own struggles with that in the past. So, but these guys are definitely, I'm happy to give you some feedback within my the limited scope of, my skill set. But these are the guys that are really going to be there, and gals, sorry, that are going to be there to give you some really effective feedback in order to work on that paper. I hope that this helps, and as always, please don't hesitate to reach out to me as you're working on that milestone 1 this week, and you guys have a great rest of your day.